All right, so what's going on? What can I help you with?
Is it safe to assume with you recording this conversation, you don't mind if I do the same for safety reasons, given the circumstances and
That's
magnitude of the situation, do you?
Nope.
All right. Because I've got a few situations, right? Start with one of the simpler ones. I had a gentleman that appears to work for security at Millikan University. As I was walking through one evening, decided that it would be cool to pull a gun on me for absolutely no reason. Tell me, show me his hands after refusing to identify who he was. He was wearing no identifiable name badge or any clothing that said security. Walked up. Who are you? Are you a student here? You're not supposed to be here. Well, first off, sir, I'm not a student here, but Millikan is and always has been an open campus from the time that I was about 4 feet tall running around on it to the time that I spent time working there in every restaurant that was there, you know what I mean, in my 20s. And this man walks up and pulled a gun on me just for sitting at a bench and checking my messages on the way through one evening. Following that, I had two of the, what I guess they call Millikan police, that are privately paid police. I had stalked me on video camera and come into the library at the place, somehow acquiring my first name and my last name, despite the fact that neither one of the gentlemen that came in there during that time was someone that I'd ever introduced myself to or met on a personal level to be able to know my name like they should.
Okay.
Not only that, but all of my social media accounts, I don't have a single one that's got my real name on it. So, you know, after stalking me on camera and coming in and saying you're trespassed from being here because you posted a video of one of our guys on social media, now we're trespassing you and we know your name. That's a real safety concern for me, you know, and other people in the community, given the circumstances of this was a direct response to me posting a video of one of their men pulling a gun on me after he refused to identify himself, questioning me as an unidentifiable person. After I had already spoke with the man that was wearing clothes that said security all over him. I had a conversation with him prior to that man pulling a gun on me, letting him know that, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm checking my messages, everything's cool, didn't want anybody to get alerted or alarmed. You know, here comes this guy. Who are you? I'm not telling you who I am. Show me your hands. Sorry, that's an issue. And it's all on, everything I just told you, it's all on video.
Okay.
Every bit of it, from the time that I arrived and made my presence known to the first gentleman that good at his job as a security guy, you know.
Yeah.
He even went as far as after I talked to him, said, hey, the cameras are in the back, which my mind goes to, okay, well, if I need to, I'm going to have to make sure I have mine on. And that's exactly what I did. I heard a guy walking up in the grass behind me. Turn the camera on. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks for letting me know there's no cameras up here, bro. You know, that's how human beings are supposed to interact. Following that interaction, like I said, they came into the library and you're not supposed to be here, sir. It's publicly available space. Longest has been, and to tell you that anywhere you go online. You know, after coming in there and giving me that trespassing retaliation for posting a video of their men pulling a gun on me for existing in a public space, next thing I know, I'm sitting at a public bench in front of, you know where Domino's and University Dogs is right there?
Mm-hmm.
Right there, there's a blue tables that sits right there in front of Domino's and stuff.
Yeah.
Which appears to everybody that goes by there to be a public space. There's no signs that say, there's 3 doors right there. There's a restaurant, there's a University Dogs restaurant, there's Domino's, and then there's another store that says something blue. But none of those things say Millikan on them.
Yeah.
And each of those buildings are individually leased. University Dogs is a privately owned corporation, as is Domino's. Those, in a situation of these men giving me this trespass form after the man pulled a gun on me for just being there, that trespass form is not applicable to these private businesses.
That's in their jurisdiction, though. I know that for a fact. They cover details
sure.
For those.
Sure.
So that's within their jurisdiction.
I understand those being within DPD's jurisdiction.
Yeah. So, but I don't know how that. Because I believe the Woods' property, don't quote me on that, of Millikan University, so I don't know how that pans out to.
I do.
To what?
I do, because when it went to court, the paper from the state's attorney, it doesn't say Millikan University on it. I was trespassed from Millikan University.
Okay.
the paper on that they gave me for that charge does not say Millikan University. It says University Dogs, which is a completely separate entity that I had never been trespassed from. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand being trespassed from Millikan.
Mm-hmm.
Had that paper said that would, even though that's not how leasing properties work, had that paper said that, it would have made a little bit more. It would have made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But because that's not the case, they had to put University Dogs on there, which is a separate entity that I had never been trespassed from. And this is all direct retaliation of me simply posting a video of a man pulling a gun on me for existing as a human being in a public space, refusing to identify who he was. You know, this is how children get shot, by that kind of lack of responsibility of men in that kind of position. You know, Trayvon Martin, for example, being one of those children. You know what I mean? And we have people coming out here and pulling guns on people after they're not even want to tell you who they are in the public space, and then to continue to stalk you on video and go as far as having police involvement in part of their retaliation and stalking me on video and falsifying charges on me, saying, oh, Millikan owns this property, and then when I go to court, it says, not Millikan, but University Dogs, a completely separate LLC. That's a fabricated charge at that point, sir. That's a falsified, fabricated charge at that point, and it all happened on camera. And not only did he do that and falsify that charge, but that man went as far as to tell me while he's standing there wearing a badge and a DPD uniform, getting paid by my tax dollars, went as far as to tell me that if I continued to stand on a public sidewalk, he was going to take me to jail. There's some issues out here, Bob, and then we got to start somewhere, because these people are trying to demonize me and criminalize me for this man pulling a gun on me. And that's not how any of this stuff works out here. And I've got video of everything that I'm telling you right now.
Okay. So, have you talked to Millikan administration about this?
I can't do that. They trespass me.
Okay. Have you
If I was to try to,
because this is an issue.
I'm not going to contact Millikan administration about a crime.
Well, this is an issue that the trespassing charge. If you want to contact the state's attorney's office about that,
sure.
If they arrested you for it, that's an issue that you need to deal with them. But the issue with Millikan Police has nothing to do with us. That's something that you're going to have to handle through Millikan's administration, because those are the ones that employ those people. So
sure, and you guys are the people that took an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution. And I'm telling you, as a citizen of this city, to a law enforcement officer, that I had a man pull a gun on me who refused to tell me who he was. You're telling me that's not. You're going to tell me that's not a crime. I need to talk to Millikan about it.
Yeah, I'm saying you've got a complaint on how their officer acted, so it's up to them to investigate that officer and see if his actions. You know,
I'm not even 100%. If that man was an officer, he was in plain clothes. He wore no badge.
In that case, then somebody impersonating
he worked
police
for
officer.
He worked for Millikan, but he had no identifiable badge or anything. So
if it wasn't him, then that's something that Millikan PD would have to investigate.
Sorry, I'm telling you, as a man that took an oath to swear and protect the Constitution and uphold the Constitution and serve and protect the people of this community, as a person of this community, that there's a man that pulled a gun on me, and I'd like to initiate the correct report for that. Because I know when somebody pulls a gun on somebody, that's a crime, sir.
It's not us. You're going to have to handle that through Millikan University's administration. That's
not the police, sir.
They are. Their police department is governed by their administration. So if you've got a complaint on how one of their officers acted, you have to handle it through their administration, not through us.
So you're telling me, as someone that works for our local sheriff's office, that I need to go and report a crime to someone that's not a police officer?
Well, you're saying it's a crime. It needs to be internally investigated by them first, and if they see some criminal action...
check it out. I'd be glad to show you. Look, it's right here, bub.
Okay, I don't know the circumstances of why he approached you.
You will. I've got it. Like I said, it's all right here, bub.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I don't need to see it or anything like that. I'm telling you, this is how you handle it, okay? You're going to have... Just like if somebody came in here and said, hey, one of your officers pulled a gun on me and they weren't justified in it, we would conduct an internal investigation.
What's your name? What's your name and badge number?
Sergeant Pittenger, 5332.
How long have you worked with the sheriff's department?
18 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
it's not your guys' job when a gun gets pulled on someone in our community to report a crime.
It's not how it works. You have to start with them. Okay?
So you're telling me that I need to go to the criminal that pulled the gun on me and
you need
tell
to
them,
contact
tell
the
them
Millikan University Police or the Millikan University Administration and tell them that what your issue is and you want to file a complaint on that officer, and it'll go from there.
That's crazy.
Just like it would happen with here.
Okay. What if? Let me ask you this then. What if it was an officer here that did something like that? Then what?
We would start an
Or
internal investigation.
if it was a city or village police officer that did something.
The city would start an investigation into it if somebody filed a complaint.
That would be your job then?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'd like to talk to you about the night that I had a man pull me out of my home without warrant and without just cause. Why is that man laughing?
What police department did this?
Mount Zion PD.
Who's that guy?
Was it?
Who is that?
Okay.
May I see who's speaking in?
Yes, go right ahead.
Mount Zion PD.
Yeah, Lieutenant Flanner, you know me, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I sure do. So that's weird. You know who did everything, and you already know
inside this facility.
He gave me permission to.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go back in the room then.
What's that?
Yeah.
Go back in that room then.
I'll tell you what. We don't have to. You can go. This conversation.
You don't want to take a police report for
No,
someone?
we're not taking a police report. You can go.
That's crazy. Where?
Yep.
I'm gonna grab my things off the table here. What was your name again?
You got it one time.
Yeah, I'll see you in court, bud.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to it.
I know it. How about that shit?
That's radiator. Smell it.